Alrighty. We're going to be doing... The fuck did I call this? Yeah, dwarves, but we're doing...
Painterama.
Oh, yeah. Painterama.
Painterama.
Alright, this first one's going to be... We're going to make some table-ready Painterama. One of us provides the miniatures. We all do our paint styles, and we'll show them at the end. You're not going to get a close-up view until we're done. But we're going to talk as we do our painting. You'll see our other nonsense, but that's what's going on. So get ready, Deathcraft style, the Deathcraft crew, Big John, Tom the Builder, and me, as usual. Here we are. It's time for painting. And we're going to put a clock on this and see how long it takes us. Because this will determine, eventually, how long it takes to do a table-ready job. When we do our first Wheel of Destiny, there'll be a price to pay if we don't get done in a certain time limit. So we're just curious how long it takes. So get ready, Painterama style. This time around, since I'm old and crusty, we're providing old and crusty miniatures. I'm going old school Games Workshop. Big John's going to be doing a Demon Slayer.
Damn, Skippy.
Here you are.
Tom the Builder's going to be doing a old school dwarf Longbeard with a greatsword. And I will be doing the crusty oldest of the bunch, just like myself. Well, actually, Tom's a little bit older than me, I think. But it's alright. I'm crustier than he is. I'm going to be doing a Hero Quest dwarf. Why? Fucking badass. That's why. Alright. Let's get ready to do this. As you see, organized and clean. Junked up. That's how we do things. I'm going to start this off. Gentlemen, grab your brushes. Glove up. Get prepared. Hit the start button. Bangaroon. Let's do this. Deathcraft style. Woo!
We are sons of Grimnir. The axes of Karazakara.
Table ready, boys. Let's do this.
Yes.
Paint style. Oh, by the way, we are airbrush primer. What did you use?
I use Stynylres's gray airbrush primer.
Which you don't got an airbrush, you can still do a rando cam, but we figured old school, we would make them nice and pretty.
Oh, we'd attempt to.
Well, we're going to do our best. I am using the patented Powerade bottle with some blue tack and a crusty old paintbrush and a bunch of Walmart shitty craft paints for 90% of my shit, probably. Maybe 100, you never know. Tom, what do you got going on there?
I will be using the Citadel miniature holder.
Yeah, the mini
Call it the mini
And
handle.
I will be using a mixture of Army Painter and Citadel, and I am using Army Painter brushes.
I'm
Nice.
using my backup kit. I didn't bring my good brushes. So, I've got some of my Army Painter brushes, a couple of the crappy Citadel brushes that are not as good as their Artificer line, but I would never pay that money for their Artificer line. You can buy Winsor Newton and, well, every other fancy brush type for the same price as their Artificer line, and they're not as good.
My first step is always I will dry brush because I do it speed paint style. So I will dry brush with a lighter color, even in this gray. Right now I'm using, what is this, antique white or a bone color and a real color. But right now, and I don't water this down for the start of it.
I am using a Stay Wet palette, but
Staying wet, baby.
as I recommended before, I have removed the really crappy paper that it comes with because that stuff does not work as advertised. They say that you can, it won't go through the paper and that it can be wiped off and cleaned off. No, it leaks through all the time. All the stains in my wet palette that you can see are through their paper. This is a piece of parchment paper. I've cleaned it off like 10 times and it looks brand new. So, first...
Why I dry brush is because I'm blind as a bat and can't really see.
Which is not a bad idea. I mean, especially with some of the other minis. Some of the older minis, I mean, this particular Slayer's got, what, 3 layers of primer over the top now?
Yeah, he's old.
Over paint. So, to pick up some of the
Yeah, so pretty much
details,
he's doing a salvage job on that old,
which
ratty old paint job.
we also decided I should have the one with the least amount of detail, because if we didn't, I wouldn't leave his house and his wife would like me to go home sometime this week.
Because he doesn't do table ready usually. Usually he's super high detail guy.
It's I'm OCD.
You quiet over there, Tom. Quiet.
I know, I'm trying to paint a beard, and that's very, very important on a dwarf.
You got a lot of beard to paint there. That's a long beard, my friend.
It is a long beard.
I am just getting some of this Citadel Iron Rack skin. I'm not even quite sure what that is, and I am the Citadel or the GW guy. No idea what it is. But it's a lighter white just to give me some, or just do a dry brush so I can pick out some of these details. Now, anyone that doesn't know how to dry brush, it's a skill that's simple to figure out, but it's one of those things that's deceptively simple, and it can be used to amazing effect by professional painters to pull out some crazy details. But the quickest and easiest way to do it is take a dry brush. You want something with some like stout bristles. Get paint on it, and then get yourself some paper towel or kitchen roll, as the Brits would put it. And you basically dab off as much paint as possible. So you just want just a little bit, and then you flick it back and forth over it lightly. And what it does is it'll build up small amounts of paint on all the details. If you rub it on there and a bunch of paint comes off, you have too much paint on your brush. Because it should just be a rather subtle, small highlight.
You should be paint trained at that point.
Right. Now, again, it is a skill that is good to practice because some guys can do a targeted like dry brush on details and pull off some crazy effects. Me, I've got to take my 10 hair brush, which is not with me, and even if it was, they wouldn't let me use it, to paint in all these micro details. But some of these guys, they can do this shit with a crappy Walmart brush, and they're good. Also, a little thing I thought to discuss while we were painting was some of the shit that I've found for beginning miniature painters. And I plan on doing a more in-depth video, of course. But Army Painter makes this D&D set of brushes from Nodular's Magnificent Creatures, I think's what they call the set. It's their new, the company that does the Pathfinder primed minis and all that stuff. They do one for
WizKids.
WizKids, that's who it is. Nodular's, whatever the hell. They sell a 3-brush pack. It's got this dry brush. It has this base coat brush, and there's a detail brush that I don't have with me. It's about $10, maybe 12, depends on where you go. I got it from a local store called Miniature Market, and they have really low prices on everything.
Miniature Market is a ridiculous big thing.
Well, on the internet, yeah, they sell
internet
huge amounts over the internet. Most of their business is done over the internet.
Crazy Russians love them.
But their starter base brush kit, 3 brushes, $10-12. You can't beat it. They're actually fantastic. Army Painter makes great synthetic brushes.
You talking or painting over there?
I'm trying to be informative and paint. All right. So this is mostly skin. So let's start with that.
That's what she said.
Yes, I suppose it is. Depends on who she is.
That's what we'd all like to know.
I know. It's been so damn long. I'm even gonna,
Been a long road.
I can be a little bit loose on the definition of she.
Each to their own, my friend. Little critter, what are you barking at down ground underneath there?
She's probably going, paint, damn it, paint! I can sense from down here that you haven't even painted yet.
That's right. Tell him, critter. Tell him
Right.
shut the fuck up and get some paint on that. That Slayer needs some paint.
Everyone's a damn critic.
She's a critic about everybody. Don't worry about it.
Alright, a little bit of flow improver and water mix.
Little flow improver. How's your flow doing there, buddy? Flow improver.
Well, hopefully it'll be much nicer after the mix.
Tasty.
Tasty, tasty flow improver. Tastes terrible, by the way. Do not drink that stuff straight. Alright.
Yeah, I did the Pat did mouth clean.
All of us do lick the
I don't.
brush type thing. All right, Tom doesn't. He's the only one.
He's too good for that.
Eric, my dear old friend Eric here, was the one that first taught me how to paint miniatures.
You think dark boots, dark brown? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
browns mostly. With
You
this guy.
want?
No, I'm good.
So we got a nice dark.
I got me a burnt umber here, a folk art special. Add a little water, all good. Me and my paper plate. Maybe this is gonna come out. Apparently it's not. We're going cat paint. Cat painting.
Now, we'll start off by painting the skin with the paint color Bugman's Glow, which it was meant to be done. Bugman, of course, for those who don't know, in the old Warhammer world,
The good Warhammer world, you
yes, the only Warhammer world, in my opinion. He was the dwarf that invented the greatest of beers. Many different types of Bugman's beers. They were ales so grand that entire nations were brought to their knees just for having a cask of it. Dwarf kings would drop massive sums, kingly sums of money just to have a single Bugman's. And anyone that had it basically would command whatever price they wanted on it. Because Bugman disappeared. I can't remember exactly where he went. I'm more the 40K guy, but if it's got GoTrek involved in it, I know some of it. Another thing to note about my dear friend Eric here, he always likes to give me shit for going on and on about GW
And you will
40K.
be subjected to that probably here, as
I know.
we usually are.
But he is the one that initially got me involved in all of this stuff. This brush is acting up.
They wouldn't let me play.
No.
You can
Eric,
always play.
I started reading 40K right after I met him because of Shader, actually. But he initially he said I should read Felix and GoTrek. Because, well, I've always loved dwarves. In fact, the first game I played of D&D was at a local game store on the 30th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons, which was the first time that I ever spoke to Eric in any time. Anyway.
me.
Were you there? I don't
I
think you
was.
were playing in that game.
I was.
Were you?
Were you in
I was
that?
at the
I don't
same
think he
table
was.
with you.
Because you
I thought it was
no,
Star
I met
Wars.
you at Star Wars when we were playing the Living
I was
Force.
there on the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, but I don't think you were on Eric's table. At Eric's table.
I thought I was.
No, because I remember all the people at that table. Because one of them was an annoying douche that I went to school with.
Oh, was that me?
No, we didn't go to school together.
Oh, yeah.
You went to that
Oh,
cesspool
yeah.
herky. You know,
Hey
all
now,
the
hey
lead
now.
poisoning.
So, we are done. Finally, all three of us are finished. And our time was, what the hell was it?
2 hours and 40.
2 hours, 46, 44.
0.47.
0.47. Alright, so Tom's was done in 1 hour and 34. And that's him right there. We got some good pictures going. Otherwise, you can't see shit for this, but
they will be put in the after this.
And mine was 154, I believe.
Something and change.
And yours was the big dog.
243 hours.
Yeah, and that's a badass fucking Slayer. So 3 table ready miniatures, a bullshit session, and less than 3 hours, start to finish. Anybody can do this. We just all have our own little techniques, and I'm sure Big John probably would have been doing that for another hour and a half, probably to do even more details and layers and things like that. But table ready is what we were doing.
Table ready. A curse word for me, but it can be done.
But there you go. We're going to speed it way up anyway, so it's just going to because you don't want to be bored by the nonsense that we were spewing the whole time. We'll give you a bit of advice when we start, and then that's it. So pretty much, we all airbrush primered them up, which we'll probably leave that in there with what?
Stynylrez gray primer.
Yeah, and then we use just a various thing. We all use the same Citadel shades is what we use for all the shades. Everybody uses
just a very, very thin matte wash, so that when they dry, everything that it touched becomes matte, and all the pigments want to seep into the little cracks and crevices.
That's pretty much it. So
quickest way to do it: base every color you want in the base color you want. Throw on a corresponding shade, flesh shade for flesh, things earth shade for earth tones, things of that nature. Let it all dry, and then go in and either freshen up all the edges with the primary color and then do some highlighting, or just leave it how it is and do some fine edge highlighting to make the little details pop out.
So we did Dwarves this time, old school, pretty happy with them, table ready, look good. They'll be fun on the table, be fun in our games. Next time we'll try something crazier.
Possibly sci-fi.
Maybe, never know. But maybe we'll do a live stream, we haven't decided.
Probably would be best.
Yeah, it'll probably be more entertaining than the sped up video that you just watched. If you bothered to watch the 2 hours that we cranked down to 6 minutes.
Possibly.
But
I
anyway.
plan on doing some videos explaining a lot of the things I did in more detail. Just because you don't learn a whole hell of a lot from me painting it really quick.
Yeah, nobody does, but that's your boots of speed style. So, anyway, till next time, Big John, E.
Craft or die.
Craft or die. Deathcraft style. We'll catch you next time. Later.